Ahoy hoy YouTube model building community. It's Peter in the Woody Workshop. This is going to be my stash ad video as a result of our trip to New Jersey for NNL East 2023. I encourage you to go watch my other two videos, which is what was on the tables at NNL East, and then my wrap up of our adventures going to NNL East. So this is the stash ad video from NNL East. As I mentioned in the wrap-up video, that as my friend Bill and I were heading out to go pick up our friend Ken in near Ottawa, Ontario, first thing we did was stop at a hobby shop because he wanted a decal squeegee that the hobby shop had. And while we were in the hobby shop, I did purchase a little bit, and that is, I picked up two Mr. Metal color paints, gold and copper. I had an idea for a build, and I thought those would look good. So before we even got out of Toronto, I made a purchase. And then again, as I mentioned in the stash ad video, as we were into the States and going through Scranton, what else do you do as you're going to a model show but stop at Hobby Lobby, because they had models for 40% off. So this is what I picked up at Hobby Lobby, the 1934 Ford pickup in the Sunoco livery. One nice thing about this kit is it's white plastic. So many other versions of this kit has been done in beige and gray and other strange colors. So and you know, 30s are some of my favorite time period, so we added that to the stash. And while I was there, I picked up a can of Tester's Dull Coat, because up here, well, you see the prices, I don't know, it's hard to tell with glare here. It's $5.79. An online retailer here in Canada has this Dull Coat listed for $16.99. So it's like, yeah, I'm grabbing a can of that. I probably should have got two of them. Then, as far as NNL East, as far as kits are concerned, we'll do kits, and then I'll get to Aftermarket later. One of the first kits I picked up was from Model King. I was looking for the 66 Mustang Fastback, but he had already sold out of them by the time I got there. But I did pick up this Mobius 1966 F100 flare side pickup. Want it for a group build, and I have some ideas for this one, so stay tuned. I had some notes of older kits that I wanted to buy. A couple of them were drag cars. I'm not a real drag guy, but in Tim Boyd's excellent book on dragsters and whatnot, he said these are among the best funny cars out there. So I picked up this Revell from the Motorsports series, Roland Leong's Hawaiian Dodge Charger NHRA funny car. Looks like a great kit, and I look forward to trying to do my first funny car with this. And in the same series, at the same time, Revell came out with this one from the Motorsports series, the Chi-Town Hustler 69 Dodge Charger funny car. They're what were termed as mini Chargers. I guess the bodies were somewhat smaller than the real Charger. But again, it's supposed to be an excellent kit, and I look forward to working on this one. The first one, the Hawaiian, was sealed kit. This one is open, but it's all there. The decals are in good condition, so it should make for a good build. A couple other older kits that I had on my shopping list. I've got some from this series, but not all of them, and I'd like to have the whole series. So this one is the Folgers Mustang GTO, IMSA Road Racing Champions. These are great kits, nicely detailed, up, you know, well up to the standards of their NASCAR stock cars at the time, although that was monogram, or yeah, anyway, they're well detailed. And so this makes 3 in this series I have, and there's a couple more for me to find. I couldn't find them at NNL East, but I'll keep looking. And then I don't have any in this series from Monogram. This is the Motorsports Mustang GTP, another great kit, and there's 3 more from this series I'd like to pick up, so I'll have to keep my eyes open, but that's a start on this series. Some cool IMSA race cars from the time period. There's sort of a view of the built-up model there. Let me know if you want an unboxing of any of these. I'd be happy to do that for you. And as far as kits, there was one unplanned purchase. Stand up straight, Herman. And it was this classic Duesenberg SJ Roadster. I got this from Don Holthouse. Some of you may remember the aftermarket name of Model House. He was the person behind that. He had 4 resin kits there available, which I kind of ignored, but I picked this kit up. I keep watching Matthew at Model Car Videos, and he's into these so much that I thought, well, I know I don't have this one, I'm going to grab it. I have a few from this Monogram series, but the Roadster is kind of cool versus the bigger town car type thing. And also from Model House, I picked up a Ford Ranger Splash for a friend in our TAPS meetings, Ian. So I picked that up for him. Hopefully he'll be getting it at least by next weekend for the Kingston Modelorama show in Kingston, Ontario. And last but not least, you know you're addicted when, after you've been to a model show and you head up to home and you stop at Watertown and you go to Ollie's and you pick up a kit from Ollie's. So this is the Monogram 99 Mustang SVT Cobra. It's 1/25th scale, so I'm assuming this was probably originally a Revell kit, but it's a good old Ford Mustang, so added that to the stash, and a chocolate bar at the time because I was hungry. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video now, and we'll come back with aftermarket stuff. Okay, and we're back with some of my aftermarket purchases from NNL East. And actually, this first aftermarket purchase was not done at NNL East. It was done ahead of time, because Mr. BG, Brian, was good enough to send me a note and say, hey, if you want anything from Iceman Collections, you know, place an order and I'll bring it with me to NNL East. That is a very cool offer, and I decided to take him up on it. And Brian, if you're watching, I sincerely appreciate that. So here's some of the items I got from Iceman Collections, thanks to Brian. So I'd already started spending money before I ever hit the road to NNL East. So the first item I got from him was this Ford 429 blown engine. I also ordered his excellent milk crates, and I cannot tell how clearly that's showing. And also in here are dropped axles for the 50 Chevy pickup from AMT, so you can lower your Chevy pickup, and I have some plans for that. And the other item I ordered was a Ford flathead with a Frenzel supercharger. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a glitch there, and I ended up with a Ford flathead with 4x2 carbs. Now that's a really cool engine, and I'm happy to have it. So I got in contact with Joel at Iceman Collections and reordered the Ford flathead with the Frenzel supercharger, and we cut a deal, and so it's coming my way. Very happy. One thing I'll say about Joel, he's willing to cut you a price on shipping. A lot of the big companies, when they have free shipping for the States, anybody else outside of continental US is out of luck, and you pay full shipping. With Joel, he's good enough. Whenever he runs these runs specials, he'll out of continental US, he'll take $10 off the shipping, which is great because you know, every little bit counts, and I appreciate that. So we've cut a deal. I've got that one coming, and I'm really pleased with this stuff. Sorry for bumping the camera. And the other thing I ordered from him, is this very cool Morgan 3-wheeler kit. This one on the cover was built by Charles Failner. I'm sorry if Charles, if you ever see this, I apologize. Chuck's Hobby Spot. Oh, so you may see this. Anyway, very cool build there. This one was built in an orange, and there's a red one out there that you probably saw in the NNL East coverage. Very cool little kit. I can open this up at a later date if you want so you can see the parts. And after Mr. BG handed me these parcels here, he handed this to me. A Ford flathead engine with a single carb. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. BG and Mrs. BG. I sincerely appreciate it. You know, although I'm very eclectic in my taste, I really like the 30s, 40s era, more so than 60s, 70s muscle cars, despite what my age is. So this is very cool. And then later in the day, I'd put my bag of NNL goodies in the car, the goodie bag that they give you, including my draw prize ticket. And somebody said later in the day, well, haven't you checked your draw? I said, no, they're out in the car. Finally, I went and got them, and I won a prize. And by late in the day, there wasn't a lot left compared to earlier in the day, so kicking myself for not checking earlier. But we're looking, and my friend Bill was with me, and I was kind of looking at a chopped 32 body, and they said, hey, what about this? I got a second Ford flathead engine, single exhaust, or single carb. Like, can't have too many of those, so I took this one. So I now have two of them. So that's my Iceman Collections thing. And like I say, except for the one that I won as a door prize, all this was ordered before, and the one I got from Mr. BG, all this was ordered before we even got to the show. So my next destination was C1 Models. Actually, it was my first destination. When the doors opened, as I said in my wrap-up video, I went straight for C1 Models before I even put my models on the display tables. So there's one thing I really, really wanted to get from them, and that was this C1 Models Land Rover Series 3 109-inch wheelbase recovery truck. I just thought that's too cool. I'm not going to open it here and now. If you want, I can. I'll show you the contents later. But I was so happy to get this. Delightful people, C1 Models, Chris and his wife. The other thing I really wanted to get was this, which is the MGC GTS Sebring resin trans kit for the Aoshima kits. I have the what you would call the stock version that I got from Chris back in 2019, I guess, because that's the last time we're there. Although I think that one came through the mail. We did a bulk order. We ordered 3 of them. Anyway, I really wanted this one. I think it's cool. And what I did not realize when I picked this one, because he had 2 different versions, was there's Canadian drivers with Canadian decals in this edition. So I'm really tickled pink. It was accidental, but I'm tickled pink that I got this one. Unintended or unplanned pickup from C1 Models was this little trans kit to do a mini ERA turbo trans kit for the new Hasegawa mini kit, which is a later generation mini from the late 90s, I think in 97-ish. So my friend Bill, which you hear a lot, sorry I keep repeating that, but he also picked up the this one. So I've challenged him to build this. We're going to Atlanta this year, and I've challenged Bill to build this in time for Atlanta. And I guess I've challenged myself too. Very cool. Some nice little bits in here, including seats and whatnot. Can show you later if you like. The only problem is neither one of us have the Hasegawa mini kit, so we've got to get on that so we can start building. Oh, sorry for the camera. Okay, continuing on with aftermarket stuff I picked up. The first one is a photo etch set from Model Car Garage. It's for the Revell Ford Bronco, so 68 to 76. Some scripts, trim detail, and other details. Without checking, I'll have to see what it all is, but that's for that one. We have a nice detail set for the 40 Ford Revell 40 Ford convertible. We have a nice detail set for 65-66 Ford truck, which you saw earlier in the kit ads that I did. And we have a nice set for Datsun's 240, 260, 280 car. It has also has Fairlady scripts if you're doing a Japanese version, a home market version. I think it's for any Datsun kits of that era, so you'd have to decide which kits they're going on. The other one I have is this 71 to 72 Dodge Charger race car detail set for the Salvino's JR models. Now this one is not mine, it's going to my friend Ken Hawley. He paid me up front for these, or for this, so this will be going to him. Now another vendor that I went to that I had a list of stuff for was replicas and miniatures. Unfortunately, by the time I got to his booth, a lot of the stuff I wanted was already gone, including the great wheels and tires that he makes for Model A Fords, like stock Model A Ford 2829 and 3031 wheels and tires. So I was disappointed I didn't get those, but I can always send them in order. But what I did get is Ford friction shocks from the 30s. These will work on probably most from, you know, the Model A's up to the end of the 30s. I've got this cool 4-banger exhaust header. Fits the Revell 29 pickup kits or the 31 sedan and Woody kits if you want to hop them up. I've got an early Ford rear axle section, so it has the correct sort of banjo and axle housings in them. And I got this Arden head kit. Originally when the 50 Ford pickup with Arden heads on it came out, they were shaped wrong and they didn't look right. So he produced this kit to get the correct exhaust manifolds, the breathers, the valley covers, coolant outlets, coolant outlet covers, all that. It's a 16-piece set if you want to do a really detailed Arden conversion. So that's cool. That would look really good, you know, in an open Model A or 32 hot rod. And I think that covers everything that I got from NNL East. But while I was at NNL East, something else I had ordered came in, so I may as well mention it here. It came in from VCG Resins by Reese, Ford FE blown engine. Unfortunately, there's no picture here to show you, so you have to take my word for it. But it would and make a really nice drag engine. So while I was at NNL East, my wife picks this up. I'm sure she was shaking her head and thinking, what the heck? But anyway, there it is. There's one other thing I forgot to mention earlier. As I was talking to Mr. and Mrs. BG in line, they were also talking to James Duff. And after he gave me the package with the stuff from Iceman Collections, he gave me one of these, a BG token. And a nice little note, NNL East 2023. Sorry, NNL East 2023, number 1. And then he gave one to James Duff that he marked NNL East 2023, number 2. And being the mature person that I am, I went, nah, I'm number 1. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that wraps up my stash update of the stuff from NNL East, plus a little. I hope you found this entertaining. Let me know if you want to see any of the kits or resin stuff sort of opened up. I'd be happy to do it. And I guess we'll call that quits for now. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, I knew I'd forget something. One last thing that I picked up was Aftermarket, but it's paper. It's the directory of model car kits, American manufacturers only, with price guide, and it's 1/24 to 1/25 scale, 9th edition by Bob Shelton. And I also got his directory 2 of model car kits with motorcycles with price guide, and you can see it covers 1/48 up to 1/8, all pretty much all scales other than 1/24 25th. I intend to discuss these at a later date in a different video. This is the 9th edition of the directory of model car kits. I think the last one I have is 5th. We'll talk about why it's important, at least to me, and the reason I bought this one is this is the last one he's doing, so it'll be an important reference from here on out, and I believe this is the last of the directory 2 that he's doing, and it's a very good resource. It's pricey, but the cost of paper these days and research and everything, to me it's worth it. And we'll go over that in another video. Okay, I think I'm finally done this time. Talk to you again. Bye now.